You ever been in one of those conversations, nodding along about the weather or traffic, and you can just feel your soul packing its bags and leaving your body? Yeah. If you absolutely cannot stand small talk, you are definitely not alone. So let's get into it, because the reason some of us hate it goes so much deeper than just being shy or antisocial.
It's a feeling a lot of us know all too well. That complete and utter energy drain after just a few minutes of casual chit-chat. But why? Why does something that seems so simple for some people feel like running a full-on marathon for the rest of us?
It's easy to write it off as, social anxiety, or maybe you're just feeling lazy, or you think you're bad at it. But the real psychology behind this is way more fascinating. For some, it's about their fundamental brain wiring. For others, it's about how they see the world. And for a few, well, their reason might just be the one that surprises you the most.
So we're going to break this down into 4 distinct psychological types of people who hate small talk. And by the end, I'm pretty sure you're going to see yourself in at least one of them. Oh, and trust me, you are going to want to stick around for that last one. It's not what you'd expect.
All right, first up, we've got the overstimulated empath. This is that person whose social battery just plummets to zero the second a casual conversation gets going. Let's talk about what that actually feels like. Does this sound familiar? You're in a group, and while everyone else seems to be getting more and more energized, you're the one picking up on everything else. The fake smiles, the forced laughs, that weird tension under the surface. You're not just hearing the words, you're feeling everything behind the words. And honestly, it's exhausting. And there's some really cool science behind this. It's often linked to having what's called a highly sensitive nervous system. Basically, your brain doesn't filter out all the extra sensory and emotional noise like other people's do. Instead, it just soaks it all up. The sounds, the lights, the unspoken feelings in the room. You're pretty much a human sponge for all the data in your environment. And this shows you exactly what's happening inside your brain. For an extrovert, all that social chatter triggers a really rewarding hit of dopamine. It makes them feel great, totally energized. But for an empath or an introvert, the brain releases way less dopamine in those same situations. So while they're getting a buzz, you're getting overloaded. It's not a flaw, not at all. It's just a difference in your natural brain chemistry.
Okay, let's move on to our second type. This one isn't about being overstimulated, it's all about finding meaning. Let's meet the Purposeful Value Speaker.
This is the person who could not care less about what you had for lunch or the latest office gossip. They might seem quiet, maybe even a little disengaged. But the second you bring up a big idea or the mysteries of the universe or something they're passionate about, boom, they just come alive. They talk to connect, to learn something, or to teach something, not just to fill the silence.
And this all boils down to a concept called value dissonance. See, society tells us that small talk is super important, right? It's the grease that keeps social wheels turning. But for the value speaker, their brain just doesn't get a reward from it. And that creates this kind of psychological friction, this feeling of being out of sync with everyone else. They believe words have real power, so they're not going to waste their energy on what feels like a fake connection.
All right, our third type. This one goes a lot deeper. Their dislike of small talk isn't about personality or preference. It's about their past. This is the quiet, numb survivor.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? These are people who have genuinely been through it. They faced real loss, real struggle, real chaos. So their quiet isn't necessarily peace. It's a kind of armor, a calmness that was paid for with some really tough experiences.
I mean, when you've navigated a hurricane, a little bit of rain just isn't going to faze you. And it's the same for the survivor. Complaints about bad traffic or a boring meeting, it just doesn't even register. They've seen what real problems look like. Their refusal to engage in all that petty chatter is really a testament to the battles they've already fought and won.
And that brings us to our final and probably rarest type, the emotionally independent. Now, they don't hate small talk because of anxiety or trauma. They avoid it for a totally different reason. They just don't need it.
This is the person who is perfectly, genuinely happy to just sit with you in complete silence. They don't feel that awkward pressure to fill every empty moment with noise because their self-worth isn't tied to what other people think. Their happiness comes from the inside. Avoiding small talk isn't a defense mechanism for them. It's a sign of some serious self-sufficiency.
And there's actually a really cool psychological theory for this called self-determination theory. It basically says that true well-being comes from satisfying our deep inner needs for autonomy, competence, and real connection. Things that you just can't get from superficial chatter. For them, emotional maturity is realizing you don't have to force a conversation just to prove you exist.
So now that we've walked through these 4 very different psychological profiles, the big question is, which one are you? As you were listening, did one of them just click and make you say, "Yep, that's me"?
So are you the overstimulated empath, soaking up all the energy in the room? The purposeful value speaker, always searching for a deeper meaning? The quiet numb survivor, whose calm was hard-won? Or the emotionally independent, totally content in your own silence? Look, understanding why you feel the way you do isn't about finding a flaw to fix. It's about recognizing and owning your unique wiring. And that, right there, is a conversation worth having.